Do you remember the movie Robots? I sure don't. I vaguely remember Robin Williams being like a red robot, and then Amanda Bynes was there for some reason. Other than that, don't really remember this movie that much, so I thought it would be fun to take a trip down memory lane and see what the heck this movie is all about. Now, we enter the movie on a shot of a small robot town, with robot kids jumping rope, and another robot selling ice cream, or whatever the equivalent to the robot version of that is. Antifreeze grease cones. You also see robots at a robot barber shop, where I think they're getting their metal polished. It's unclear, but you get the gist. It's a small little quaint town until it gets interrupted by a robot who is about to be a dad. And I feel like this right here is the moment that everyone remembers from this movie.
Making the baby's the fun part.
I'm gonna be 100% honest, this joke went over my head as a kid. With some IKEA directions and a few hours of assembly, bing bam boom, they got themselves a little baby robot. Now I bet you're asking yourself, wait, if these are robots, then how do they age? Which is a great question that this movie does actually try to answer. As robots mature, they get more and more parts that they can grow into. For example, little baby over here learns to walk by using training wheels. Still makes me question, like, if you have to get new parts almost every single year for your kid, is it really worth the cost? But then I'm like, in the real world, kids are very expensive too. So I guess it probably adds up. I don't know, I'm probably overthinking this movie already. Now, this kid that we've seen growing up before our very eyes is our protagonist, Rodney Copperbottom. His father is a literal dishwasher, because you remember the robots, you get it? And it's actually kind of unclear like what his mom does. But due to their low income, Rodney has to wear hand-me-down parts for his entire childhood. And this doesn't really seem to bother him that much. He's kind of just like a carefree kid who just loves his dad. I gotta say that this father-son relationship is just so wholesome, unlike other father-son duos. I'm talking about you, Chicken Little. Yeah, Rodney and his dad have a tradition of watching their favorite television show, The Big Weld Show. It's about the greatest inventor in Robot City, who's basically Chef Cousteau from Ratatouille. Both bring in this optimistic business plan of there are no bad ideas and everyone can be amazing.
You can shine no matter what you're made of.
And this inspires Rodney to become an inventor himself, wanting to find an invention that can help his dad with his work. Again, look at this freaking wholesome relationship. Unfortunately, it leads to his father's termination from his job. Rodney takes it upon himself to be like, you know what? That's on me, Dad. I'm gonna go get a job at the big city and I'm gonna help you because I created this whole mess, so now I'm gonna clean it up. Our small town protagonist is heading into the big city.
Hello there.
Before we get even further into this, the voice actor for Rodney is Obi-Wan Kenobi from the prequels. And I had to put that reference in there at least once, okay? And I didn't know where to put it, so it's right here. So Rodney goes to Robot City, which is like New York. It's where he meets Robin Williams' character, and I think his name is Fender. I don't know, every time he was on screen, I kind of was like, oh look, there's Robin Williams. So I don't think I really was paying attention to what his actual name is. I think he's like a scammer or something. They never really specify what he's up to. He's just kind of there. It's nice to see Robin Williams though, but he's not that important. So, you know, like, take that how it is. After meeting Robin Williams and going on this extensive pinball machine ride, which is this city's transit system, which seems extremely dangerous and probably causes a lot of injuries. But it's creative. Would you rather see an extensive pinball machine thing going on here or watch them just travel on a bus? I don't know. I don't know who you are, so I don't know which one you would pick, but I would rather pick the pinball machine thing, but that's just me. Now, Rodney ends up at the gates of Big Well Industry, where he really wanted to go because he wants to show his cool invention to Big Weld and make everything better.
Thanks.
But it doesn't happen because this security guard is literally a jerk, and he's probably my favorite character in this whole movie. His sassy behavior kind of reminds me of the taunting French guard in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The sassy security guard is like, "You shall not pass," because Bigwell Industry is under new management. Who is this new management, you ask? His name is Ratchet. He kind of takes it upon himself to be like, ideas is stupid. We have to get money, so we're gonna get rid of spare parts and we're gonna go with upgrades, because upgrades make everyone super cool and super awesome, and old stinky little parts, there's no money in that. Ugh. But he's not the only villain in this movie. No. We have another villain who's basically Oscar the Grouch. I love trash. And ironically enough, I have like an Oscar. I got a little like, you see that? That's Oscar. And she wants to turn everything into scrap metal. Honestly, her motivation is, it doesn't really make that much sense. But you know what makes me laugh? This lady is Ratchet's mom. And it's kind of upsetting that I forgot about how great this duo was. And it just makes scenes like this better, in my opinion.
Or do you want to end up like your father? Hey, son.
I don't know why that made me laugh, but it just does. Now, due to Ratchet being in charge, Bigwell has disappeared. So Rodney has to go on the search trying to look for him. Or the old model robots, like Rodney's dad and his friend Fender, who's Robin Williams, are going to turn into scrap metal. Do robots die at some point? In the beginning, Rodney's dad says this.
He's got your mom's eyes and my dad's nose. I knew we were smart to save those parts.
Either these two are thieves, or their parents at some point had their warranty expired, so... The important thing is that Rodney can still save his dad. He forms a ragtag group of robots, including Fender, who's Robin Williams, and his sister, who is Amanda Bynes. And she has a crush on Rodney. And that's really it. All I know is that was like a huge deal back in the day. Anytime you saw a commercial, they'd be like, Amanda Bynes is in this movie. Also, Jennifer Coolidge is in this movie, and her character is the butt of every joke. And I mean that literally. Look who's laughing now, because now she has 2 Emmys and a Golden Globe. And because this is the early 2000s and every movie during that time had to have like a fart joke scene, I don't know why this was the trend then, don't ask me. They have to throw in one of those scenes and they make, again, Jennifer Coolidge the butt of the joke.
Get a load of this!
So does that mean like he expired from the smell so robots can smell now too? Now, before I break my brain any further, let's speed this up. So Rodney finds Bigwell, but he's not enthusiastic about being an inventor anymore. Most of his time is taken up by making elaborate domino builds. But Rodney gives Bigwell a motivational speech about coming back and helping the robots in need. And he's like, no thanks, I'd rather surf through some dominoes. So Rodney takes it upon himself to save all of the other broken down robots. But Ratchet and his mother aren't having it. And just when Rodney thinks all hope is lost, Bigwell comes back and all the robots rally together to take down Ratchet and his mother. And then within this fight, we see this scene happen. Yes, that's a Robin Williams robot dancing to Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. I don't really know what's happening anymore. Ratchet and his mother are defeated. Ratchet gets to spend some wholesome time hanging out with his dad. You get it? Because he's actually hanging out. But sadly, his mother gets melted down. And honestly, I was quite bummed out when I saw this happen because I was like, dang, she was like my second favorite character in this movie. And then Ratchet was the third. Rodney saves the day. Everyone gets their parts that they need. And then they have a little dance party and everyone lives happily ever after. And that's robots. And I have to say, on the surface, I can understand why I forgot this movie. And despite saying that, I still had a fun time watching this. Even though I had so many questions, it was something that was fun. Just a creative chaotic ride that I kind of wish more movies were like nowadays. The small little details around this movie were just fun. Like the little signs that you would see around made the city feel more lived in. Even the reference humor in this movie kind of made me smirk now and again. There's like a reference to Sid from Ice Age. There's also this one time where the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz comes in and he skips around. I just wish we had more movies like this. Not every movie has to be a big giant blockbuster. Sometimes it's just nice to sit down and watch a silly movie, and that's what I think Robots is. Is it a perfect movie? No, but I had fun. Hopefully you did too. Well, that's all I gotta say about that. What do you remember from this movie? Did you watch it back in the day? If you liked this video, why don't you hit that shiny like button down below? It helps YouTube know that this channel does indeed exist. And if you are looking for an upgrade in your film knowledge, then why don't you click on this video right over here. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.